All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of David's Saturday Night Sit Back. I am stoked to welcome Brandon Martinez to the show. Brandon is a commercial pilot who is CFI certified, CFII certified, and is also a multi-engine instructor. Brandon went from being a high school baseball player and homecoming king to finding his love for aviation. 9 months ago, he stepped out of his plane after passing his last check ride and completed the airline career pilot program. At one point in time, he lived in Chicago, but now he's here in Austin, Texas. Brandon, I'm super excited to have you on the show tonight so that we can talk all things business, fitness, and culture. Welcome to your episode of David's Saturday Night Sit Back.
Thanks for having me, David.
How was that intro? Was it accurate?
It was mostly accurate, except the part of Chicago. I've never lived in Chicago. I think you brought that in there.
I lied.
Yeah, you lied. I don't know. I don't know where you got that from, but I've always been in Texas my entire life. I grew up in South Texas, lived in Central Texas for college, moved up to Dallas for aviation school. Now that I graduated aviation school, I'm now in Austin, flight instructing, building my flight time.
Did you tell me you at least like vacationed in Chicago or?
Possibly. I mean, I was there a few months ago, back in October. I was just visiting friends. I do visit very often, and I would love to actually move there. It's like one of my dream cities to move into next. But yeah, been in Texas my entire life.
You know what I think happened? Some people know this, some people don't. I do go through your entire Instagram before you show up, and I wonder if there is like a string of like 10 or 12 or 14 pictures at a time that were all in Chicago.
Probably.
And I was like, okay, so clearly he was here for some duration of time.
Yeah, I visit it a few times a year, I would say. That's probably the city outside of Texas that I travel to the most.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, to kick this thing off, tell the audience why they should stick around to listen to this episode.
I think they should stick around because, I think my story is pretty interesting. A lot of people come to me asking me questions about my aviation journey, and especially those who are have some kind of interest. I mean, if you want to know more information, I think it'd be great to stick around and see what I have to say. I get a lot of people kind of requesting me all the time how I got started, what I have to do, how much is it, and I'm always open to answering their questions. And I've actually had about like 5 to 7 friends now start the same journey as I did, and it's been very it's been cool, just kind of getting people to start a career that I think they will love. I know I love it and enjoy it a lot, so it's been a fun journey, and yeah.
Good pitch. Good elevator pitch.
Thanks.
Yeah, man, I don't know if you have this feeling, but I've probably had not a lot, but 2, maybe 3 people who reached out to me about starting a podcast, and I'm honored to take those calls.
Yeah.
It feels so good to feel like,
you
want advice from me?
It's like I'm doing something right. Yeah.
Are you sure you want this advice?
Yeah,
like,
that's
you might
exactly.
want to reach out to someone else.
It's exactly how I feel. I'm like, man, I'm really like flying with someone right now. Like I'm in charge. Like it's crazy. I don't know.
Have you ever been skydiving?
I have not. It's on the bucket list, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to go together, I'd be down.
That'd be cool, actually.
I've been looking for someone to go, and not like I haven't been aggressively looking, but
yeah.
2 or 3 weeks ago, I was like, how have I been here a year and I haven't done this yet?
Yeah.
I've been 7 times in California. So now
Nice.
I have to go in Texas. I
Yeah.
can't not go.
Yeah. Have you, where were you looking into? Like
I haven't even looked it up yet.
I think San Marcos, south of Austin, like 30 minutes south. I'm pretty sure they do some skydiving down there. It's the only one I would know close by. I'm sure there's a bunch of areas, but I'm actually able to fly one of those planes to skydive out of.
I feel like I could fly one of those planes well, maybe not the landing, but and that's not
I
to
could
throw
teach you.
shade at you, like,
I
oh,
could
your
teach you.
job's so easy. It's more of just like, it's got to be the easiest flight ever, right? Like,
Yeah.
you just go up, a bunch of people could jump off, you go back down.
It's very simple. You literally take off, fly around at a specific altitude, and then everybody jumps out, and then you just come back and land. It's a quick little flight.
Do you happen to know the difference between how high a skydiving plane goes versus how high like a commercial airplane would go?
I know commercial airlines usually fly above 30,000 feet, so like 34,000, 36,000, 35 around there is usually where they fly around. Skydivers, I want to say it's like around 10, 12, if I'm actually not exactly
so long.
sure, but I want to say it's around 10 to 12,000. It's a guess, but
Do you think you'd be nervous?
oh yeah, 100%. Like I mentioned before getting started here, it's like I literally any little thing that is new to me, I've never done, I get really nervous for. So any small thing, once I've done it once, I'm like, okay, I'm familiar, I'm comfortable. So that's just me. Every little thing I do that's new, I'm just constantly nervous.
So what you're saying is we'll record this, and if it's absolute, you'll come back in a month. All the
Good to
nerves will be
go.
out.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. It won't be gonna be a natural. You'll be fine. That made me think. Have you ever done breath work?
Breath work. I did see a therapist last few months, and they did teach me some it was like 4, 6, 7. It was like a 3 count. It's like some kind of breathing technique thing.
But you haven't gone to like an hour long dedicated to just being. It's like a yoga class almost, except with much more intense breathing involved.
Oh, I don't think so. I did do like a restorative yoga class once, and it was like the beginning of it was kind of heavy breathing, just like large inhales, exhales, and then some like kind of humming and stuff, but nothing. I don't think what you're referring to, maybe.
Did you feel calmer after the class?
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah.
So here, let's try. We'll just do a teeny bit.
All right.
And then I might go. We both might have cedar fever, folks, which is great. We both have just like we're not. I'm not calling myself sick.
Yeah,
because I feel great. Like everything else is firing on all cylinders.
Same. I feel great. I mean, I don't feel great. It's just a cough. I'll just leave it at that.
Anywho, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna breathe in twice, and then you're gonna push it all out. So it's gonna go.
Okay.
And you're gonna go in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we'll do it at the same time, and let's do 5 of them. And the audience, you can do it with us too, if you can, if you're driving. No, you can do this while you're driving.
You can definitely do this while you're driving.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Do you feel any less nervous?
A little bit.
Really?
Somewhat. Or maybe the tequila kicking in.
Tequila, maybe.
The tequila's kicking in.
All right. Yeah. Well, if you can, you should. Well, I'm giving out advice of some stuff I don't even do. I went to one class this last Sunday at a place called Third Eye Meditation Lounge. It was great, man. I loved it. There were parts of it that were very uncomfortable, but I think that's a good thing. I like when I think that forced uncomfortability, if that's a word, is a good thing from that time, depending on what it is.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I always kind of that's kind of something I strive for, is like reaching some sort of uncomfortability in my life, because that kind of allows me to, reach out, different things, try new things and stuff, and just kind of, I feel like it allows you to grow as a person as well.
Is that why did you say yes to coming on the show today?
Exactly of that, like just kind of allowing myself, one of my new New Year's resolutions is to try new opportunities and stuff, like seek that comfortability.
Yep.
And just kind of like say not specifically yes to more things, but like yes to newer things, like new opportunities and stuff. So I was very interested when you reached out to me, and I was like, that sounds kind of cool. Like, kind of like I said, I was nervous a bit at first, but I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to be here. So again, thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude, of course. Did you happen to get to the part in Flight's episode where he was talking about how when I first texted him, he was like, hell no?
No, I didn't get that far.
For the exact same reason that you and me are talking about. But it was just funny because when he admitted that to me, it made me wonder. I wonder how many people that have come on at first were like, no way.
Yeah.
No way, Jose.
Straight off the bat, I was like, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. I told my roommate, and she was like, yeah, that sounds kind of cool too. She listens to a bunch of podcasts and stuff. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. I'm going to say yeah. So
yeah. And we're just talking about you.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah. No wrong answers, right?
Speaking of you, so you grew up with, if I did my detective work right, you had 2 sisters?
Yeah, correct. 2 sisters.
Where do you fall in the age range?
I am the middle child. So my sister is 30, I'm 29, and my youngest is about to be 22 next week.
Have you ever heard that thing about like how middle children get treated different?
We're the favorite. At least in my family, no offense, but I think we're the best.
You said that so quickly
Yeah.
with zero hesitation.
Sure,
I
my
barely
family,
got
I
the
guess.
question out, and
Yeah.
that's just right where you went.
Oops.
How do you think? How did you know you were the favorite?
Just kind of being able to, I don't know, detect. I don't know. I think I'm the favorite. I know I'm the favorite.
Dude, it's funny because my family was raised pretty. I'm the middle child as well, and we were raised in a very Christian home. And so when I was like 20 to 21, I stopped going to church and I started like experimenting with drinking and weed and just like breaking all the rules. And I remember when I came out to my mom, she was like super happy about it. And one of my sisters was like, "Fuck me, like you're gay and you're still the favorite." And I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, when I came out, my mom was not happy at all. It took her a while. It took it a few years actually to be okay with it. And then after I came out, my oldest sister came out too. So now she has two kids, gay kids in her family. And at that time, like when we were younger, my mom wasn't okay with it. But eventually, she realized like who we are and who we love and stuff. And actually took her. My first boyfriend for me to just introduce him to her and stuff. And after that point, she was totally cool with it. And now she's just like very accepting and loving and very proud of who I am now, I guess. So
what did that look like when she wasn't happy? Did that cause any? How old were you?
I was 18,
Okay.
17, 18, around there. So it was like my senior year of high school as well. But I think, like I mentioned earlier, that was one of the points why I was very excited to get out of Brownsville, Texas. I was just kind of like, okay, like this is nothing for me here. Like I'm gonna be this, like I would need to be this gay kid in the bigger city. Like let's
Yeah.
go, whatever, blah blah blah. Yeah, it was like our relationship kind of died a little bit. Like I was, I don't know, I was kind of an ass as well to them, my sisters and my mom. I wasn't the greatest kid, I would say, but with time and I grew and got matured up and stuff, and definitely a different person now with them.
Were you sort of a punk growing up, like as a kid? Like I'm
No,
talking like 5 to 10 years old, or were you sort of more well behaved?
I would say I'm more well behaved than a punk. But I had my moments where I would just like lash out. I probably got that from my dad too. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was just like old, like my young self, I would say. Yeah.
Were you guys raised religious at all?
We were, yeah. We grew up Catholic. Have like my first communion, did all that stuff. Attended church, not every Sunday, but pretty often, I would say. But same thing, like you said, after I graduated high school, I don't think I've been back to church since then.
You sinner.
Yeah, I need to go confess.
Me too. I haven't been since Christmas. My family still really likes to go on Christmas, and I'm totally cool with that. So
Yeah.
it's if it makes them happy, it's like fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll get dressed
Exactly.
up and do the thing.
Yeah. Same.
When you think outside, let's take coming out of the closet out of this question for a second, because I have a feeling that might be your answer. When you think like as far back as you can, like go way, way, way back to young Brandon, up until like the point where you turned 18, is there anything in that timeline that was really significant that sort of put you on the trajectory to who you are today?
I would say, growing up, like my grandpa was probably around more than my dad, so he was always the one that kind of just like would pick us up from school, take us like shopping and stuff, and then he would take us to these air shows. Actually, growing up, there's this airport at my hometown, the airport. They had a bunch of like air shows and stuff, and I just remember like going with him and seeing all these planes, and I have a feeling like just from like seeing that at such a young age, kind of sparked my interest of like aviation. At some point, I never really thought about it up until I was actually in college, of like how to go into it and stuff. But yeah, I would say my grandpa just kind of started that interest in me, and I never really looked too much into it until I, got older and just started doing more research about things, and eventually came across another pilot who answered all my questions of how to go about things, and yeah, I now here I am.
Here you are.
Here I am.
That's sort of cool because I don't, as a kid, podcasting didn't exist. So I definitely do not have that same origin story, of seeing something. I did want to be a chemist for a little bit because I have this book.
I remember you saying that in that one podcast with Flight.
Yeah, did I?
Yeah, you did. You guys went talking about
Don't even
Breaking
remember
Bad
that.
and
Oh, yeah.
yep.
But well, you already know it didn't pan out. But yeah, no, that's cool. Would you say you were closer with your grandfather than you were your dad?
Probably, yeah. My grandpa was around. My grandpa was around about half the year actually. So he was a immigrant. So whenever he came over, he would work half the time as a farmer. So they were migrant workers. My entire family were migrant workers. So they work about 6 months out of the year up in North Dakota. The other six were down here in Brownsville, Texas, and it would be mostly throughout the school year. I would say that he was in town. So yeah, so he was always around. My dad was a truck driver, so he was always gone for days, sometimes even weeks. So I would say most of my childhood he was pretty much gone. Actually, most of my life. Now that I think he was probably gone most of my life. Now that I think about it, he was barely around. But I mean, he had to do what he had to do. Bring that money in. So
That's a rough job, though,
yeah, it's tough.
because of exactly what you just said.
Yeah, not being able to be around your family. You're just constantly traveling, sitting down. Not really the best job to have. Barely made enough money for our entire family as well. So
I didn't even think about the physical aspect. That
Yeah.
you're because like even with my job as a recruiter, like it's pretty easy for me to get up whenever I want. But if he has to drive X amount of miles in X amount of time, he can't just be like, oh, let me
Pull over,
over
sleep.
and take a 5-minute walk, to
Yeah.
stretch out my back. Like he's got things to do,
Yeah.
places to go.
yeah, exactly.
Did you ever work on a ranch?
No, I did not. My dad did though when they were younger. We would go visit when I was a child. We would go up to North Dakota pretty often to go visit my grandpa and stuff. But no, I didn't go up in a ranch. I worked mostly service industries. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
What kind of ranch was it? In terms of like, was there animals? Was it food?
Not really animals. It's mostly food. Like I think they would plant beets and onions and potatoes. I think that's what it was, if I remember correctly. That's kind of like the main crops that they would plant and stuff.
And
just kind of
those
farmers.
And those particular plants would only grow 6 months of the year.
I'm guessing. I know. So they would be gone from. They would leave in like April, May, and then wouldn't come back till October, November. So they were basically away summer, and then the winter they'd be here. So around the summer, that's I guess when they would be able to grow all this stuff.
Do you have any interest in landing in North Dakota one day?
I think that'd be cool. Yeah.
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 What's it like over there?
Flat,
there, I guess you
flat,
could say.
cold. It's like just a bunch of fields and stuff. Not much out there actually.
Why do you think you'd have a desire to spend some time out there?
I think it'd be nostalgic just to go back. I remember the grandpa's house was like the only house on this like within miles, and then there was this lived on this like street. It was the only house on that street, and at the end of the street there was a little lake that we go fishing and stuff. There was always a bunch of catfish we would go like catch whenever I was younger, and that's just like a core memory that I remember specifically. And I think it'd be nice to just go back one day and just walk around and just revisit those areas, because it's been like over 20 years since I've been back. So
Wow.
it's been a while. Yeah.
You're due. You're overdue.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Do you like fishing?
I do like fishing. Yeah. I haven't done it since I was in high school. Actually, I would go, some buddies of mine, my baseball team would go fish and stuff, but I haven't done it since then. It's been over 10 years.
What do you like about it? I've never been, so I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like you're just chilling there, with friends, talking with your friends, and then all of a sudden you just get that little bite and like a little nibble, and it's just like, for some reason, just it gets excited. I don't know. It's just like a weird excitement that you get from that little bite from the rod. I don't know.
It's just like a dopamine hit,
I guess
or
so.
like
Just
an
like a quick
adrenaline
little,
rush?
yeah,
You're
just
like,
like
oh, I
a quick
actually-
one.
Yeah. Would you cook them and eat them?
Yeah, yeah. We took him back to his parents. I think it was his parents' place, and they I think fried them. I want to say, yeah.
Fried fish.
Yeah.
Sounds fresh fried fish.
Yeah, fresh fried fish. Fresh fried. Say that 5 times fast.
Right. Fresh fried fish.
Fresh fried
fish.
fish.
I can't do
I
it.
can't do it either. I messed up on the first one, so.
The closest I got to that was we did go to Mexico one year, and on this one beach, all these fishermen were pulling their boats up to the beach, and then they had tables, and they were just like dumping out their what'd you call it? Not their catch, but like the fish. They were dumping out the fish.
Yeah,
So they just had all these crazy looking fish, and so we just picked one that looked gnarly, and we were like, we want that one, and it was like $2 or so. It was so cheap. And then you take it to a different part of the beach where a bunch of people are waiting with barbecues, and they clean it for you, I guess you would say, and they cook it, and then they give you a bunch of beans and tortillas and margarita, or it may have just been like assortiti and
Spice marg.
Yeah, it may, I don't know if these ones are spicy. I have a spicy marg story for you in a second though. But dude, that fish, oh my God, it was the best fish I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
You can't, you literally can't get it fresher. Like, that thing was alive 30 minutes before I ate it.
Yeah, no, there's some really good seafood restaurants down where I grew up. It's like you have the Gulf of Mexico right there, so you get some fresh fish I'm sure pretty daily and stuff. It's just people go fish, and I don't know, it doesn't get any fresh on that. But.
Yeah, no, it's so good. Well, is there good fishing in Austin? Do you know?
Not that I know of. I don't know anybody
So you'd
here
have to
that
drive
fishes.
a little bit.
I would say so. Yeah, I don't
Big
know.
Travis isn't really a.
I wouldn't think, but it might be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But you have some homework to do.
I know. Yeah, I need to go fishing now.
Do you have fishing equipment? Like, could you hypothetically go? So
Not with me, not right now. No, I think eventually in the future, once I'm in my career as an airline pilot, I will be doing a lot of more things outdoors. I need to get some money first. You know, it's been a struggle with aviation school and like post aviation school. It's like you don't make much, but I know for a fact later in the future, I would want to invest in and, you know, just be able to do on the weekends as a hobby and stuff.
So my quick tale for you was I went to this restaurant and I ordered a jalapeno margarita, and it was so
Spicy.
good.
Oh, good.
It had a little kick.
Yeah.
But it was spicy, which is what I liked about it. So I was having a Memorial Day barbecue, and I thought I want to make these jalapeno margs for everyone. So I got one of those big containers with like a spout on it.
Yeah.
And I go to the store and I get a dozen jalapenos.
Oh man, that's a lot.
Yeah. I chop them all up. I didn't even de-seed them.
Oh man.
Because the picture was like, it was big.
Yeah,
so I was
yeah.
like, we're going to need a lot of jalapenos. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
This was insane, David.
Yeah, I think like 2 or 3 would have been good actually.
They would have been fine.
Yeah.
So I put them all in, and then I put in the tequila, and I put it in the refrigerator so it can just start cooling down, and the tequila can soak up the jalapenos. That's the next wrong move.
Yeah.
So then my buddy Justin and his girlfriend Kayla get there first. And I put in the margarita mix, and I stir it up, and I pour them both some, and I said, try my jalapeno margarita. And they both, like, take a pretty aggressive swig.
Yeah.
And, dude, they turned red.
Oh, man.
Justin started sweating. They were coughing because it was just burning their throat.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys are being little pussies. Like, let me try. So I pour myself some, like a shot's worth, and I shoot it. Oh, my God. It was fire.
Oh,
Not
man, I
fire
can only
like
imagine.
tasty.
Like, good.
Fire
Yeah.
like Satan himself peed into this jug of margaritas. So what we did was we strained out all the jalapenos, added another bottle of tequila, another bottle of margarita mix, and a ton of ice.
Did that do the trick?
And just mixed it up. Still undrinkable.
So man, it's a lot of tequila gone to waste.
And so everyone that showed up, everyone was just like taking a sip for fun because everyone had to try it.
Yeah.
And no one drank it. And at the end of the night, my friend Kayla was like, well, this is the first barbecue I showed up to where there is a giant pitcher of margaritas when I showed up.
Yeah.
And there is still a giant pitcher of margaritas when I left.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm a big fan of spicy margaritas. But not very spicy. I would say like half a jalapeno maybe like does the trick.
I wish I knew this. I would have been ready for you.
I bartended for about 6 to 8 years, so I know a little thing
6 to
about
8 years?
6 to 8 years, I want to say.
So tell me the best spicy margarita recipe.
Okay, so you get 2 ounces of Tanteo jalapeno infused tequila, about 2.5 ounces of the sweet and sour mix. We would make it from scratch, so I can't tell you that recipe. It's kind of a secret.
Sure.
And then the sweet and sour mix that we made had some egg yolks or egg whites that would froth the margarita up a little bit when you shook it. So gave that extra little texture and stuff. And then we would chop up like about 2 slices of jalapenos, shake it up in a shaker tin, strain it over some ice, and garnish it with tahini or salt. And it was just really good. The perfect margarita, at least in my opinion.
Well, I won't be able to replicate it since you can't give away the super secret
It's
recipe.
actually very, very easy. It's like lime juice, orange juice, lemons, water, sugar. That's it. And some egg
Ooh.
whites. You just gotta figure out the proportions, though. The amount of limes and all that stuff.
I think I would be scared to serve someone egg whites in a drink as
That's
someone
totally
who's
normal.
not a bartender.
Yeah. I would say maybe if you made some sweet and sour, don't let it. I wouldn't drink it past like 2 days. Just like, or maybe
With the
past
whites
with,
in it, you're
yeah,
saying?
with egg whites in there. Yeah, just it would go
Alright.
bad really quick.
I'm gonna go to the store and buy just some egg whites because I'm not gonna try to like separate the whites from the yolk myself.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would be a
It'd
waste.
probably be easier. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna experiment with this.
Yeah. It's very common in cocktails. It just gives it that frothy little look on top. It works really well.
I wonder if it's been in more drinks than I even realized it is.
Possibly.
Because I know there's some drinks like what's the one that's classically known for having like the egg white foam topper? I think it's a whiskey based drink.
Whiskey sour. No, is it whiskey sour?
Come on, bartender.
Whiskey
6+
and
years?
sour. Yeah, right.
Lies. I didn't see this on your Instagram. I didn't see it on your LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And now you don't even know what drink has egg in it.
I'm
Liar.
I'm throwing a blank here. You're putting me on the spot.
And on Mike when he's already nervous.
And in front of
he's
a crowd.
sick. Yeah, and in front of a crowd. Huge live audience out
Damn.
there. No, thank you for the recipe. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm going to make that. I wonder, how do you think it would work out if I did the exact same recipe but with whiskey?
Oh, that would be it'd be great too. It's like a whiskey sour is what I'm saying. That's kind of why I thought it was.
That's why your mind went there.
Yeah,
Got it.
exactly. It's the exact same thing except of tequila. It's just a whiskey sour, and it's also really good. I would say.
So I have a friend coming over to record on Monday, and he's my first guest to ask for a specific drink. Like, thank God, because I thought all the guests would. I thought, I stopped. So when I first started this, one of the questions on the forum is, "What would you like to drink during your episode?" And like 20 out of 20 people left it blank, so I
really?
just took it out. And then finally, I hit up my buddy Sutton, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll come on if there's old fashions."
Oh, nice.
Deal.
Okay.
But maybe I'll make him 2 drinks. I'll make him an old fashioned, and then I'll make him a spicy
Margarita.
margarita.
Yeah.
But with the rye whiskey I have.
Yeah. That'd be nice, actually.
All right.
It's really good.
All right. Back to teenager you.
Yeah.
So let me digress. We were talking about your family's ranch. Your grandpa, I think, unfortunately passed away.
He did. Yes.
That was like 2015.
2013. It was a week before I started my freshman year of college, actually.
How'd that impact you?
Yeah, it was a pretty big impact, I'd say. He's the only person I've lost in my family. And he was like one of the key person in our entire family. He's the one that held our entire family together. And ever since his passing, I mean, our family's kind of drifted a little bit apart. So not the holidays haven't been the same. And yeah, it was very tough.
Is his wife, assuming, is
Yeah,
she still alive?
She's still alive. My grandma's still alive. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Partly because I've heard of a lot of older, well, I don't know that they were older, but couples in general, when one goes, there's actually like some sort of, I was just reading this yesterday. I should be able to articulate this so much better. Essentially, it's not uncommon for older couples to pass close to each other, like within a few months or a year,
Yeah.
because were such an integral part of each other's lives. It's almost like they just die soon.
Yeah.
I'm articulating this so bad.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard this though, or read it, or heard it on?
No, I have not. This is the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mainly only with older couples because obviously if your partner passed at like 50 and you're in like even relatively good shape, you're not just going to keel over and die. It's usually more common amongst couples who are older in age and whatnot.
Okay.
But anyways, how'd he pass?
He I think had like liver cancer or something he was up in North Dakota actually when he passed away. So I wasn't able to like see it, talk to him before he passed. our family thinks he kind of like knew about it, didn't want to like tell anybody about it because obviously health insurance is very expensive here, or medical bills are very expensive here in the U.S. And nobody in my family really had health insurance, and he knew that it was just going to be, very expensive. So we think like he had known for a while, and just kind of kept it to himself, and just kind of last minute ended up in the hospital, and within a few, like the day, he just passed and stuff. And I remember when we found out he was in the hospital, our family immediately packed our bags, and we were going to drive up to North Dakota to try to go visit him and stuff. And we were probably in passing Austin actually when we found out that he had officially passed away. And from there, we just kind of drove back home and tried to start organizing his funeral and stuff, and just trying to get everything ready for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty tough, I'd say.
How do you remember how you felt when you learned that he potentially knew and didn't tell you guys? If
Not in that moment, but I know my freshman year of college was a pretty tough. Like I started drinking a lot, and just like I got out a little crazy with like just drinking, and I would remember just like cry a lot whenever I was drunk, just like thinking about him and how much I missed him and stuff. And it took a really big toll on me my freshman year. Just I would abuse alcohol a lot, and yeah, just wasn't the best. Yeah, it was just hard.
what year was that?
That was 2013.
Got it. Okay. I didn't know. I have one thing I was going to read back to you from your Instagram account, and I thought maybe it was related, but in rereading it, it's not. So I'm going to back burner that. But
Okay.
I'm sorry for that, man. That
It's
sounds
not-
like it was a rough year for you and your family.
Yeah.
How are you doing with it now that it's been a few years?
Oh, it's been good. Yeah.
You seem like you talked about it pretty confidently, and obviously you didn't tear up or anything. So it seems like you sort of accepted it and definitely have moved on it. And not moved on. That's the wrong way. But like you're not. The thought of it didn't bring you to tears, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We still go visit him. So his birthday is a few days before Christmas. So every now and then we'll go visit his graveyard and stuff. Like, I think this last Christmas was actually my first time visiting in like 7 years, I want to say. But yeah, no, other than that, like, accepted and stuff. I'm like kind of moved on, I guess, a little bit past it. But yeah.
What was your high school experience like?
High school was interesting.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, high school was fun, interesting, hard. There's a lot of interesting stories in high school. So I was like a closeted in high school. Like all throughout high school, like I got a lot of shit for being in the closet. Like I kind of denied it a lot of the times. Like people would always ask me like, oh no, and I would always deny it. Just just was always scared to come out. But I was also like I was also friends with everybody. I would say I was like very well known in my high school. Like you mentioned, I did win homecoming here. Actually, I won homecoming 7 years in a row. We have homecoming
Jesus.
from 6th grade
Calm down, man.
to 12th grade, and
Let someone else win for once.
I ran every year and I won every year. And I wouldn't say I was like the popular kid, but I was just like friends with everybody. I wouldn't say I was the like stereotypical popular kid. I was just like cool with everybody. I was friends with everybody. I was nice to everybody. Got along with anybody who tried to be friends with me. I wasn't like a dick or anything. But those were like my good moments. And then there was like the bad moments where, I'd get bullied from like my teammates and stuff. I grew up playing sports and stuff as well. And
Baseball, right?
baseball, yeah. I was the only person for my class who made varsity all 4 years for baseball as well. And
Dang.
yeah.
Just getting after it.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
like
the
I said,
homecoming king is different, but the fact that you got varsity all 4 years of high school.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
I mean, I played baseball for 14 years. So since I was 4 till 18, I played on a team year round. I was on a traveling team. And I was just like, that was just my sport. I was really good. Yeah, I just, Lost my train of thought.
We were talking about. I asked you how you made varsity every year. You were
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
14
Just
years.
from a lot of experience playing and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, I played a lot of sports. I also did football, basketball, tennis, and track. Did gymnastics throughout elementary as well. So I was pretty athletic. I love sports. I will try any new sport that comes. I would say the newest sport I played recently was probably pickleball. Love that. Anything active sports, I love. I will get into it. I'm very competitive, so anything to try to beat someone is right up my alley. It's just kind of what I like to do.
Heck yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Leaning into the competitive mindset.
yeah,
When your teammates specifically made fun of you, you know how like I know amongst guys we give each other a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I always tell my friends like it's very easy to know if I like someone or not because if I like them, I'm making fun of them. So if I'm not making fun of you, I must not like you. I don't mean that literally.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, do you think they were sort of doing it in fun or maybe even trying to help you, or was it more mean spirited?
I feel like it's. I feel some of them were mean spirit. The other one were kind of maybe trying to push me to maybe come out. I don't know now, but yeah, like there was this one guy who'd always just like, oh man, I hated this guy. He would just like make fun of me, like call me this Bruno. There's like this movie that came out in high school. It's called Bruno, and it's like this. I've never actually seen the movie, but it was clearly this gay man who was like doing a bunch of like sexual things. It seemed like, and I don't know. He just like would always call me that because like, oh look, Bruno's like coming, or oh Bruno's look at the way Bruno walks, and it just like really did not set well with me. And then there was these other group of friends who like would tease me about like, oh this kid likes you, this kid has a crush on you. It was like this freshman that actually got moved up to varsity when I was a senior. He's like, oh like go say hi to this freshman. I don't know, just kind of I feel like that was more like, oh maybe they're trying to get me to come out or whatever. But yeah, like I stayed in the closet probably until my last 3 or 4 months of high school. I got accepted to Texas State, and I finally got that like go card of like, okay, I'm definitely not staying here in my hometown. Like, this is my like ticket out of here. I am getting out of here. I'm going away. I'm not coming back. So after that, I kind of just like started admitting to it. People would ask me, and I was like, yeah, I'm gay. Like, I really didn't care. I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm leaving anyways. Why should I care? So that's kind of where my mindset went after just getting that approval from my admissions to Texas State. So, yeah.
I'm so happy for you that you were able to do that in high school.
Thanks.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
How what was your relationship like with the guy that called you Bruno since you guys played on the same team?
Oh man, not so great. It's weird because it's like we were good friends in middle school, and then high school came around, and people always like friendships always change
Sure.
in high school and stuff, and I almost like wanted to like I wanted to beat this kid up so bad. But after high school, didn't see this guy. One year, I think it was like my sophomore or junior year of college. I had no idea this guy went to the same university as me. I saw him like skateboarding down like the same university. I was like, oh man, this guy just like brought back a bunch of like bad memories. It's like, fuck this guy. I wanted to go to just like push him off his skateboard and stuff. But other than that, like I mean, I'm obviously like kind of past it.
I was almost thinking like when you said you saw him on the skateboard, you're gonna be like, yeah, I went and talked to him. He apologized, and it ended up being best friend Dr. Daniel Nguyen.
Oh no.
That would have been a wild
That
story,
would have been
though.
a plot twist.
Right, because that guy is all over your Instagram.
Yeah.
You guys are such good buddies.
That's my buddy. Yeah.
Shout out Daniel.
That would have been a great actual like friendship. Like
That would have been epic.
Yeah, that would have been epic. No, yeah, Daniel's one of my best friends. Actually, one of my best friend. Yeah, I met Daniel at a music festival. Actually, like I mentioned.
Oh,
I
no
met
way.
A lot of my close friends at music festivals. Yeah, I met him at a music festival up in Dallas.
How'd you meet specifically?
There was just like I was with my first boyfriend at the time, and we were just kind of dancing, and then we like just randomly walked into like a group of other gay guys, and Daniel happened to be in the crowd with this other guy, and we just talked a little bit. I found out he was going to Southwestern up in Georgetown, just like 30 minutes north of Austin, and I was in San Marcos, 30 minutes south of Austin. Yep. So we exchanged like contact information, and from there, After that festival, we just kind of go out to Austin about like 3-4 days out of the week. Go out to Tuesdays. We'd go out to like college night on Thursdays, and then Friday, Saturday was like the weekend, so we'd go out. So we were just like party animals. We were just always out and about, having fun, living our lives.
There's this one picture. I wish I had pulled it so I could. I'll put it on the YouTube version if you're watching, you can see it there. But there's this one picture where you two are in the gym together and he's leaning on your shoulder.
Oh yeah.
It just like warmed my heart. I was like, look at these guys, just like so happy and confident and friendly, and like this is great.
Yeah, I love Daniel. He's great. We just have such a good relationship. We're like brothers, I would say at this point.
Shout out Daniel.
Yeah. Shout out Daniel. I love you, Daniel.
Do you have a nickname for him, or is it just Daniel and Brandon?
I call him Dong sometimes. It's his middle name, Dong. But that's about it. Yeah. He calls me B.
B.
Yeah.
Does everyone call you that?
A lot of people call me B. Yeah.
What do you want? What about like people who don't know you that well?
You call me whatever you want.
Brandon.
That works.
We'll see. We'll see if it changes to B by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
It's funny because when you were talking about skateboard dude, I saw there's two guys that I'm not from my high school, very similar upbringing to yours, with just in the closet, made fun of, blah blah blah. Not to write it off. I've talked about it so much on this podcast. I could see people just like turning the volume down. Like here he goes again. I've never brought this up. This was in 2019 because it was right before COVID. So I would have been graduated for 13 years. And I saw the equivalent of your guy that you wanted to push off the skateboard.
Yeah.
I saw mine.
Oh, really?
So me and a friend were eating outside a restaurant, and we were on the patio, and he was walking by, and I looked up, and I was like, that's fucking John Smith. And for some reason, I almost wanted to say hi, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my instinct should have been similar to yours. I was like, oh, I've been working out. I'm 10 times bigger now. Look at him. He's smaller. I'm going to kick the shit out of this guy. But that wasn't my reaction. My reaction was like, see where it goes. Say hi. See if he remembers you.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
And part of the reason was because I felt like when I am out to a meal with a friend, I feel like they deserve as close to 100% of my attention as they can get. So to then be like, oh, I'm going to go talk with this dude I haven't seen in 13 years that I don't even like, was sort of disrespectful. So that played into my thought process as well. But he is alive and small.
Unfortunately, so is my guy too. My bully.
You don't know that.
Actually, I haven't seen him since college. So
that was a couple years ago.
That's true. I don't also see him on social media or anything, so that's good.
Well, you're probably not looking him up either.
Definitely
That'd be a little bit loco. If
yeah,
you
right. Somebody
pulling him up once every couple quarters. Anywho, all right. So back to high school. Would you like a cough drop?
I'm okay.
Okay. Or if you want me to make you tea at some point or something, if it gets worse, or more tequila, whatever.
Yeah.
It's your cough.
Yeah, I think I'm fine.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
You're welcome. I felt like we did digress a little bit because we were talking about baseball varsity. The original question was sort of that made you chuckle was there anything between like 0 and 18 that you think was pivotal for you? And that's sort of how we got down this route. Leading up to when you came out, because that's sort of where we got off track. Anything else that you felt was noteworthy from that period of life?
Not that I honestly can remember, actually.
How'd you come out to your mom?
I didn't. She outed me. No, she.
Oh, no.
No, she didn't out me.
Mama. What's her name?
Laura.
Oh,
Laura Patricia Martinez. Yeah, she. So this is a funny story. I was talking to this guy on Facebook, on our like desktop back at home when I was still living with my parents. This is, I think my senior year. Yeah, towards the end of when I decided to come out, I guess. I was talking to this guy on Facebook. I had met this guy at Texas State because I had gone up to do a tour and stuff with some friends, check it out and stuff. And I met this guy, started chatting with him, and I don't remember what we were talking about, but we were clearly, obviously, flirting and stuff. And there was like a hurricane or something going around at the time, like some storm that caused our power to go out. So me thinking, oh, like power's out, like my Facebook's gonna sign out, whatever, blah blah blah. I didn't think much of it.
Boy.
Yeah, you already know where this is going. So
boy.
I go to school the next day, come back. As soon as I come back, I walk into the front door, and my mom's just like immediately, as soon as I close the door, she's like, "Hey, come into my room," in Spanish though, and she's like, "Close the door behind, like close the door as you walk in," and then she's like, "What's this? Like, are you gay?" And like, I just admitted to it, and she apparently had gone through all my messages with this guy and read everything, and found out that way, and yeah, it wasn't the best moment.
Do you remember, like, when she? Because when she first told you to go into her room, I'm guessing you knew you were in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
But you had no idea why.
No, I knew immediately after she was like, when she told me to come into her room and close the door behind me.
What was going through your head?
I was like, oh fuck. Like, she knows. But yeah, because I think throughout the day while I was at school, I also kind of was thinking like, oh, did it log me off? Like I didn't even think about to like wait to turn it on the next morning or something and check to see if it signed me out. But nope. Power came back on immediately. I think it was right on the screen. I want to say where the messages were with this guy were. So it's like right there, just waiting for her to read it. So
hopefully there weren't any like nude pictures in there.
No, no nudes. I don't think I don't think there were.
You both would have been traumatized for very different reasons.
Yeah, no, it was just like flirting.
Good.
I hope so. I honestly don't remember, but I don't think there was any nudes. No. Not that I remember.
Whew, I was like nervous for you for a second.
Yeah.
Do you have so what changed in your, if anything? And let me preface this question by saying that when I was going through your Instagram account, it's obvious you love your mom and that she loves you back. There's so many pictures of you guys together on Mother's Day, on holidays, smiling together. There's one of you and your family all dancing or something. So it's very clear that you guys have a deep love for each other.
Yeah.
At the time, did it cause a small rift in the relationship?
Yeah, I did. We didn't really like talk for a little bit. It was hard for me to like, like ask her for things or like approach her for anything, any kind of questions and stuff. And it was kind of hard because, like I wish I had some more advice like for dating and stuff because I had just gone to college and stuff. And it was right after my senior year. So didn't really have many people to go to for advice right after graduating high school. But eventually some friends, I met a lot of gay friends in college, which helped with that. So, yeah, but yeah, our relationship kind of wasn't the best back then, right when she found out.
What brought it back to where it is now? Was it over just time heals?
Definitely time, but like also mentioned earlier, like I brought this boy down, my first boyfriend.
That's right. Yeah.
I guess she realized like, oh, this is who he really is and stuff. And from then on, she was just like really cool about it. Like,
how'd she treat your ex at the time?
Nice, actually. Like, was like really friendly and like asking him questions and stuff. And I think for her, like, what she was scared about was me dating like
40-year-old?
No, like a maybe like a kind of like a cross dresser. I think she like for her like her idea of like dating a gay man was like, oh, you're gonna date someone that likes to dress up as a woman and stuff. And I think that was her biggest like scare, just like the stereotypical kind of gay, I guess, like puts makeup and heels on and stuff. But I think when she finally met my first boyfriend, she realized like, oh, he's the exact same as my son, like not very feminine and stuff. Like we even had the same last name, me and my boyfriend.
Martinez.
Yeah. So maybe that helped.
Maybe.
But yeah, no. Other than that, like she like has gay friends now, and like we talk about a lot of like my relationships as well now, and my struggle with dating.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, so it's
That's
cool. She's
awesome.
like one of my best friends as well now.
So when you said you walked through the front door and she said, "Come to my room."
Yeah, she was like, "Come into my room" in Spanish.
How does that sound?
Man, ven a mi cuarto, cierra la puerta atrás de ti.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah,
I'd be scared too.
Yeah,
I can see where the oh fuck came from.
But when she gave attitude. She was like, "Ven a mi cuarto." Like she was like, yeah, it was intense.
Do you think she'll listen to this?
Maybe, yeah, we'll see.
Maybe.
I think so. I think she will, actually. She has a lot of time. So
My mom doesn't listen to
I'll
this.
send it to her. She'll definitely listen, actually.
Okay.
She's a TikTok girl, but she'll listen to
Well,
a podcast.
I do my best to post every day, so there will be 7 clips of this on TikTok that
Oh, nice.
she can consume.
Oh, perfect.
If
Yeah.
she wants to start off with small bites.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I wanted to ask you a question. I should have made a better note as to when this picture was, but this was on your and I'll put this up on the YouTube page for you guys. This is one of your pictures.
Oh yeah.
How old are you in those, to the best of your memory?
I was 23 here. This is when I graduated Texas State college. And then here I was probably like 17 or 16.
So still closeted.
Oh, nope. 16. Yep. This is 16. Still closeted, not closeted.
How'd you know you were 16 based off that friend?
This is my current roommate. She.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jackie.
Oh, cool.
Another of my best friends.
Shout out Jackie.
Shout out Jackie. I won homecoming with her like 4 or 5 years. Yeah. So because I realized that because she is wearing her basketball uniform here. She only went to my high school freshman and sophomore year. After that, she went to an early college. So it had to be either my freshman or sophomore year.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So outside of the external things, obviously you're older in the picture on the left.
Yeah.
You've graduated school. You've come out of the closet. So there's a lot of stuff on the outside that's different. What would you say is the biggest difference between those two pictures on the inside?
Oh man, I'm over here like sticking out my tongue. Maybe the way I'm dressed too. I'm just like trying to act like a different person. Over here, I'm like confident, fierce. I don't know, just like throwing face. I don't know, just like I don't know. It's just you can tell.
What do you? What's going through your head? Just sort of what went through your head when I handed you that picture?
I mean, I love this picture just because it brings back a lot of memories with me and
It's
Jackie.
a cute picture.
It's a cute
and
picture,
knowing
yeah.
that you're still not only friends, but you live
Yeah,
together.
we dated in middle school for like a week.
Did she know you were gay?
No, not in middle school, but
Not when you
like
were dating, but maybe
like after that, like probably maybe the next year. Yeah,
probably as soon as you broke up with her.
yeah, exactly. No, yeah, she's known probably for the longest time. What was the question again? Sorry.
You answered it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
what went through your head as soon as you saw that picture?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
just some good memories. I would say just one of my biggest accomplishments here was graduating college. I was first generation. Me and my sister are the only ones that graduated college as well. So it was a huge accomplishment for me, I would say.
What'd that mean for you?
It was big. You know, I was like I accomplished something that most of my family hadn't done. So it was a lot of hard work. I was working a shit ton in college, and
Were you bartending?
I was bartending. Yeah, I was working like 50 hours a week, probably 40, 50 hours a week.
50?
Like 40, 50 hours a
While
week.
taking like a full load?
Well, yeah, well,
can
going
put that on the-
going to
if you
school full time. Yeah, I was going to school full time, working out as well, like 5, 6 days out of the week, and still somehow managed the social life. I don't know.
You looked great.
Thank you.
And you
Thanks.
still do.
Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Thanks. Yeah, I was hustling back then. I was always
Yeah.
doing something. I don't know how I did it, but I did it.
Lack of sleep, probably.
Yeah. Oh man, I would sleep like 5, 6 hours a day, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So 18 years old, you graduate high school. Did you, if you graduated at 23, I'm guessing you went into college pretty quick.
Yeah.
Was aviation on your radar at all at this time?
It probably popped up my junior year of college.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's this question I like to ask almost everyone on the show is that we have this thing in the U.S. culture where like at 18 you're supposed to know what you're
Right.
gonna do with the rest of your life.
Yeah.
At the time, did you have any idea, or was it sort of like let's just go to college and see what happens?
Yeah, it was just like, let's go to college. You'll figure it out. Actually, before I even went to college, I wanted to go into the Air Force because I was like, school's not for me. I didn't like it. Like, I didn't like middle school, high school. I didn't like school much growing up. I was like, I'm just going to go straight to the Air Force. But then some part of me was like, just give it a shot. If it doesn't work out, like, you can later go on. So I gave it a shot. I did well. Yeah, graduated. So,
Do you think college might have been somewhat easier because you were out of the closet, so you don't have that mental secret
Oh
weighing
yeah,
on you anymore?
I think so. Yeah, because I had a ton of friends in college. Like there were some really good friends, just like I was able to like hang out with and stuff. And all my roommates actually in college were gay too, so
There you
it's
go.
kind of nice just getting like learning from them and their experiences and stuff, and their coming out stories is kind of cool as well. So um, it was a very fun experience, and I did a lot of growing in college, as I'm sure a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You ended up. Hang on one second. Let's see here. Oh, I forgot I jotted this down. Was The Breakfast Club a favorite movie of yours growing up?
Um,
You have a quote from it on. I think it's the only post you made where you quoted a movie.
really?
So I was like, this guy must. Yeah, you just wrote down. Spend a little more time trying to make something of yourself and a little less time trying to impress people.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it wasn't a favorite movie. I did watch it a few times, I would say. I think I just liked the quote. Maybe what was I wonder what the picture was. Um,
It was in 2014, so it was a long time ago, and it was this picture of one of the main characters with
with
the
his,
joints in his.
yep, with his
Yeah.
joint. Yep, yeah, I do remember that now. Yeah, no, I enjoyed that movie. My aunt introduced it to us when we were younger, and yeah, it was a movie I enjoyed. I wouldn't say it's a favorite, but I think maybe at the time I was just kind of like looking for a quote or something, a caption, my picture,
something cool.
something cool. Yeah, I
I
was
need,
like,
I
oh,
need to post
this,
something
yeah,
here.
this looks like it'll work. All right, let's just copy paste. But
You ended up getting your degree in business administration, right?
that was my minor actually.
Okay, cool.
Major was health and fitness management, and then
Oh,
minor was business administration.
what were you gonna do with that health and fitness management degree?
So like I mentioned, I played a bunch of sports. I originally wanted to own my own gym and become a strength and conditioning coach and sports performance coach, and just train a bunch of like high school athletes in the sports that I grew up playing. So that was kind of where I wanted to go until I started doing a lot of traveling in college, and that's how I met this pilot in one of my travels, and immediately like my interest in that like died off and turned it into aviation. I was like, this is what I want to do. But yeah, I don't know if you want to go into that already or something, but
Let's hold off for 1 second.
Yeah.
That's cool that you wanted to open a gym. And when I was in college, I think for a business management course, you had to put together a business plan,
uh,
and I ended up putting one together for a gym.
oh,
And I
nice.
don't know if I ever actually wanted to actually make that happen, but yeah, it was fun putting the business plan together. I kept it with me just because I don't know. It just I was when I moved here from California, I got rid of everything I owned
Oh,
except what I could fit in my car.
Yeah.
And of all my school stuff, I found this business plan. I was just like, I'm not ready to throw this out.
Yeah.
Even though I'm never gonna act on it.
Yeah.
And it's like 10 years outdated now, so
Yeah.
it's not even relevant. But
I did the same thing once I graduated, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be a pilot. I literally got a box of all my textbooks and just threw them in the dumpster in my apartment complex. I was like, I don't need you anymore.
how'd it feel?
It felt pretty good.
Do you know what the CPA exams are?
That's for the accounting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on that path at one point, and throwing away those books was
Yeah.
the best feeling in the world.
Oh yeah, I bet. One of my other best friends is an accountant. She worked for I think it was EY. Eli
sorry.
Young. Yeah, I think it was EY. One of the big four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you even know that term.
Yeah.
The Big Four, if you don't know, is just exactly what it sounds like. It's the four biggest accounting firms on the globe.
Yeah.
They're notorious for putting their people through hell. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
even a secret. It's just like no.
Everybody knows. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was miserable. She hated it. She was there for 2 years and then found something else. But
Yeah, I think most people that's about how long they last.
Yeah.
What was I? Oh yeah. So before we get into aviation, you got to go to London, Rome, Budapest, Spain, Paris, and I think that was all one trip, right?
that was all one trip with Daniel, my buddy Daniel.
Dr. Daniel.
Dr. Daniel.
How was that?
Oh man, the best trip I've done for sure. It was great.
What'd you do over there?
We did everything. We did sightseeing. We did some bunch of touristy things. We partied. We ate a lot. Actually, no, we didn't eat a lot. We wish we ate a lot, but we were on a budget. But yeah, we planned. Well, Daniel planned this entire trip, literally itinerary from day one to the very last day. What time we were going to be eating, what time we're checking in, what flight we're doing, organized this entire thing for our month vacation in Europe.
It was 30 days.
It was close to. I want to say it was like close to 30 days. It was like 4 weeks. It was long.
Do you mind if I ask, to the best of your memory, how much it ended up costing you?
I want to say about 3,000.
That's not even that much.
Nope.
I mean, it's a chunk of change.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like it's nothing.
Yeah, it was nothing because we bought like the cheapest Airbnbs. We bought the cheapest flights and stuff. Like we got a round trip from Philadelphia to London. Round trip was like $500, $600.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was like constantly searching flights, like what deals. He knows how to like make good deals. He knows how
I
to
need a
find good
Daniel
deals.
in my life.
Daniel is everybody needs a Daniel. Daniel knows.
I need someone who can plan and budget and I don't know if I have that.
Yeah.
If you are my friend and I don't know this about you, tell me because we're going on a trip together.
Yeah, we just got back from a trip in Salt Lake City, and same thing. He planned everything as well, and it's just great.
What of the little food you did eat? Was there any one meal where you were just like, "Oh my god, this is so good"?
Yes, there was a meal we had in I think it was Rome. Man, it was like we went with this friend who wanted to splurge, and he was like, "You know what? I'll pay for it. No worry about it." And we went to this really nice restaurant, like had some really good wine and stuff, and he just paid for it, and it was like a variety of things. I don't even remember the names of it, but it was pretty good. It was Italian food. So
Have you been to it's not Eddie V's, but their competitor downtown? It's like there's two really big steakhouses in downtown. There's Eddie V's and then the other one. I think it might have J in the title, like Jay's place or
Jay's. I've only been to I think 2 places downtown, or 3. Is like Perry's, Dean's Steakhouse, and I feel like that Jay's like ringing a bell. Let me see.
There's this. My buddy was telling me they have this bone marrow appetizer.
Oh yes.
And I don't have any idea what a bone marrow appetizer is, but I want it.
Yeah.
I want it so bad, B.
I think. Hey, there you go. I think. So I think Dean's Steakhouse actually has the same thing. We went there. I went there for my birthday with my roommate Jackie. Actually, she took me for my birthday and like bought us a really nice dinner and stuff. But yeah, it was like a bone, and you just like scrape off like the insides of it, and it was really good as an appetizer. I don't remember the other place you're trying to mention though. Jay's.
I'll text him after. If you're super curious, I can text him when we're done and ask him what it was. But anywho, in the U.S., at least from what I could find, you've been to Utah, California, Hawaii, Colorado, Arizona. Any particular place do you have a favorite place in the U.S. outside of Austin?
Chicago.
Why?
I have a bunch of friends there. I just enjoy the like city life a lot. In the summer, it's gorgeous. Just being able to go to like the Michigan Lake, Lake Michigan. The nightlife is fun. They have some really good restaurants as well, some really good food, and I just like I don't know the way people live there is just like it's just I don't know, just seems cool. I don't know. I really have always enjoyed my time in Chicago. I've only been once in the winter though, so I don't know how I would do living there in the winter. But the summer, love it. It's great. Other than that, also really enjoy Orlando, Florida.
Right.
I just like the Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, Disney World and stuff. So just the theme parks.
Disney
So
World.
fun. Yeah.
It's been too long since I've been to Disney World
Yeah.
or Land.
Yeah, I went like 3 years ago. Good times.
I'd have to text my sister. I think it was like 2016, 2017, something like that.
Yeah.
Do you want me to turn the air down a little bit, or are you okay? Okay.
I'm okay, yeah.
I will leave him unnamed because he's a very private person, but one of my buddies, I wish he was here right now and you two could have a verbal contest. I would get off the seat, let him sit down, and you could have a debate and create a ton of shorts for the pod. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
About why Chicago is the worst place on earth.
Oh, really?
I don't know if maybe he lived in like what could be quote, like dubbed a bad part of town or something.
Yeah.
But I just know that he got out of there about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And he thought it was the best decision he's ever made in his life. He lives here now and he's thriving.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I have some friends that moved up there about 2 years ago, and they love it. And every time I go, I stay with them, and they live in like close to Wrigleyville.
Okay.
and yeah, it's a good time.
I have to ask about California because that's my hometown.
Yeah.
What'd you do out there? Where'd you go?
I've been to San Francisco. I was visiting a guy I used to date out there. Actually, he used to live in Folsom, I think.
That's my hometown.
Yeah, Folsom. Yeah, I'd say it's close to Sacramento.
Who is it?
His name's Andrew. He's like
If I bleep out his last name, will you just tell me? 'Cause I'm curious.
his Muramato
I don't think I know him.
is Asian. Yeah,
I only asked because I don't think the gay community is like huge out there, so
Yeah.
that would have been crazy
Yeah.
if we had if it had been like one of my buddies.
Yeah,
Because
he also goes by Tan, Andrew Tan. One of those,
don't
Andrew Tan,
think
Andrew
so.
Muramato. Yeah.
irrelevant. But
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so you were out. Did you guys go to Pride or just to visit the city? For
I just
fun?
visited the city. I had never been, and I wanted to visit him, and we just did. We saw Data Life as like a DJ.
cool.
Did like a show. Went to the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
Had food. I love food, so we're always eating at like somewhere really nice at least once. A really good restaurant. Yeah, just kind of like toured the city, hung around, went out. Did the basic touristy things,
the
I
thing.
guess. Did the thing, yeah.
What island did you go to in Hawaii?
I went to Kauai. I want to say it's the last one,
How was it?
furthest one. It was great. My friend that I won homecoming with my senior year of high school, she moved out there because her husband is in the, what is that called? The Coast Guard.
Okay.
And she got married out there last year in October. And I went out and was there for about 4 or 5 days, I want to say. And it was beautiful. I loved it. It's great little island.
Do you keep in touch with them by chance?
I do, yeah. She's actually right now back in my hometown, Brownsville. She texted
cool.
me a few weeks ago saying she was going to be visiting and if I was going to be around and stuff so we could hang out. But
The reason I ask is because I have a buddy who is a cop in Dallas who actually got recruited by the Coast Guard in Hawaii because of the fires to go out there.
Oh, yeah.
So I was going to ask if this was a crazy, well, not now, but if 2023 was a crazy year for him.
Oh, yeah. She was at the time in Kauai. I don't think they got many fires on their island, I don't think.
Okay, good.
But they recently did just move to the big one. Is it Oahu?
I think so.
I think it's where Honolulu.
Sure.
Honolulu. Yeah. I think it's
I'll
Oahu.
put a little caption on the YouTube version and fact check us and
Yeah.
say if it was,
I think it is Oahu. I'm pretty good at geography, I want to say.
I
Maybe.
don't. That's good. I'm glad you are.
Yeah, I think I should. That's something I should be good at, right?
Yeah.
Being a pilot at all. But
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, you got GPS.
yeah, you do. It's all you really
Right?
need. Yeah.
It's not like you're up there like looking at a map while you're flying
Yeah,
around.
exactly.
Are you?
No.
Okay.
I mean, there was a point in my training where we had to do that. It's called pilotage and dead reckoning. You had to plan out your flight plan, like back in the days without GPS, and do a lot of math and look at a piece of paper and have the piece of paper while you're flying and try to get to all your points. Yeah, and it's part of a.
that does seem
exam.
like a good exercise to have.
It's yeah. In case
You
your
hesitate-
GPS,
You hated it. Didn't
it
you?
was kind of tough. Yeah, I hate teaching it too. So I hate teaching it to students, but it's cool, being able to like have that skill to be able to go fly without GPS, just kind of map it down and just follow this track and stuff, and yeah,
Yeah. The little boy's snoring.
yeah.
I don't know if you can hear him or not, but I was just like,
Oh yeah, there he is.
isn't that cute?
Yeah, it is cute.
Dude, I love
What's his
it.
name?
Thad.
Thad.
Did you watch Blue Mountain State?
No, I did not. No.
All right, never mind.
Is that where you got the name from?
Yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about aviation.
Okay.
So you graduated college, and you said you started thinking about aviation your junior year.
Yeah, my junior. Yeah,
How did it get on your radar? No pun intended.
Yeah. So I started doing a lot of traveling in college. I was working a lot, so I was like, I started doing some traveling. And on one of my travels, I went to Ultra Music Festival in Miami. And when I was there, I was just kind of in the crowd and stuff. I look over to my left, and there's these really two cute boys, and I'm just like, oh, these guys are like attractive, and I'm just like looking at them and just like kind of keep glancing over and stuff. And I see that one of the guys has a Boeing playing on his phone screensaver and stuff. So I went over and asked him if he was a pilot and stuff, and he was like, yeah, I work for American Airlines. He's like, I've been doing it for so years, and And I was just like very curious. I was like, oh, like how'd you get into it? Like, where did you start and stuff? And we kind of had like a little small talk, and it was during the festival, so I didn't want to bug him too much. So then he basically offered me, he gave me his phone number. He's like, yeah, if you have any more questions, just like text me, hit me up, like call me, whatever. Like, I'm here. I'll answer whatever you have to ask and stuff. And from then on there, he just basically kind of became my mentor. I asked him like how to go about it, and the guy was very helpful. And he was like, yeah, like go take a discovery flight, see how it feels. And I was like, oh, what's that? He's like, it's basically just like an introduction flight to, it's like an hour flight. You just go up in the air and kind of get a feel out of it in front with a flight instructor, just kind of feel out the plane.
Anyone can do this.
Anybody can do this. Yep. You can go, just pay a flight instructor to go up for an hour and just kind of get a feel for it. And I fell in love with it immediately. I went like maybe a year after I met him and tested it out and stuff, and was like, I'm set on this. This is what I want to do. And
it took you a year to do the discovery flight.
After I met him, yeah, just because it was like $300. It was like $220, I think, $230. And I was still like just wanting to travel and do other things and stuff. But and at that point, I was still in college. I still needed like another year and a half. So I wasn't like rushing to dive into it because I knew I was like already so far into my college degree that I was like, you know what, I just want to finish this up, and eventually after that I'll look into it and stuff.
What year did you graduate? Did you say?
2018.
So
college.
Real quick diversion from aviation.
Yeah.
July 30th, 2018. July 30th is my birthday, ironically.
Oh.
You made a post on Instagram. Do you have any idea what I'm about to read to you?
July 30th, 2018. Oh, is that when I moved to Dallas? No.
I wish
No,
I knew the answer to that.
That was before. No, I don't remember.
All right. Well, I'm going to read it to you.
Okay.
Posting this to hopefully help motivate some of y'all.
The video.
And remind myself where I used to be. This summer has consisted of nothing but bad eating habits and binge drinking, a lot of alcohol due to the increase of stress and mistakes I've committed in the past. Life happens, though, sometimes, and you aren't always going to be able to keep the same mindset. In all caps, shit happens. You make mistakes and you learn from them. The only advice I have to offer is don't be too hard on yourself. It's in our nature to make mistakes. I've always been one to let things get to me too easily and then end up taking it out on myself to a level that was unnecessary. I'm ready to move on past this stage in my life and get back on the route I was creating for myself. Have a great Monday, everyone.
Yeah, I got that from the Breakfast Club as well. I'm just kidding.
It's all just a long quote.
Big fan. Just kidding. No, yeah.
What was going on with you, bro?
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. So that was a different Brandon. He was just hungry for like success and like the best. I don't know. I mean, I'm still there, but like that's kind of, I guess, where it kind of started, I want to say. Before that, I was just kind of like whatever I do with my life, I don't really care. Like it's gonna happen. I didn't really have like a direct path or like a route of where I was going. Or an idea of what I wanted to do and stuff until around that time. I would say that's probably the time I was like, okay, I want to be a pilot like this, and I just got more motivated. And yeah, that was my prime, I would say. in my fitness.
Oh, I was
area.
gonna say, it sounds like it's not your prime.
No,
it sounds like you're like the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. In my fitness era, I guess. But yeah.
Do you think you're prime now, or no?
Not as much. No, I get injured for every little thing now. I'm just like, I like sprained my ankle 2 months ago. I tore my hamstring in like November, and just like getting hurt left and right now.
For me, it's elbows. It's not an injury per se. I guess it is, but it's not like something happened on impact.
Yeah.
I've noticed that on back day, it's really starting to flare up.
Yeah.
So I bought some SBD sleeves.
I noticed
those help a lot.
Yeah, I noticed. I thought it was like kinetic tape or something.
These help a lot as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should have taken it off beforehand, but whatever. There's my broken arm. All right. So back to Oh, I wanted to ask you, do you know are you just talking about mistakes in general in this post, or was there something specific that you were thinking on that night?
I think there was something specific, but I wanted to make that post possibly about like just anything in general. I think I don't remember what I was going through at that time, but I'm sure it was something in the moment that I was struggling with or going through that made me probably post that. There's always something that causes me
Sure.
to post something, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to make that post for like anybody, just kind of some inspiration. I don't know, motivation.
I wish I pulled whatever the picture that was that
It
you
was a
attacked.
video.
Oh, it was.
It was a video,
Of
yeah,
what?
of me just kind of. I think it was a video. I'm pretty sure it was a video of me just kind of like flexing in front of like a phone, basically just taking out like
nice.
yeah.
Good. You had very few of those, by the way.
Yeah,
very few shirtless pics on
Yeah,
your Instagram. You're funny, man. Aviation, the Discovery flight.
Yeah, Discovery flight.
You do that. What happens next?
You do that, just and if it sparks your interest, you try to find a flight school in your area or somewhere that either is close to you, or if you do your homework, a lot of people like I found ATP, which is a school I went to school for.
What does that stand for?
Airline Transport Professionals.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought that was like the best fit for me. They offered this like 7-month program, like get you in and out within 7 months. And I was like, oh, I want to like be done as fast as possible, try to get going, and so I went there. I ended up doing some research and found that there was a really big school in Arlington, up in Dallas, that I liked. So I moved to Dallas probably like 5 days after I graduated college. And within a week or two after that, I started looking at applying to flight schools. And my biggest struggle at that time was trying to get approved for another loan to finance school. And I couldn't get an approval from a lot of places. And
Why?
so just from all my college debt already and a lot of credit card debt as well. I applied maybe like 5 times, and it probably took about 3 years for me to start aviation school after I graduated college. So I was just like, for the meantime, I was still bartending, paying off a bunch of stuff, trying to catch up on bills. And then eventually after 3 years from graduating college, I was able to get approved. And as soon as I got that approval, I gave myself like an extra 2 months to work a little bit more. And I started school January 10th of 2022. And yeah.
We'll come back to January 10th in a second. Tell me your favorite bartending story. Like whether it was just someone who was out of control, angry, someone who was like sobbing in tears, treating you like you were their shrink. Like,
oh man,
what was one of your favorite encounters?
There's a lot of like. So the area I worked in, it's like very old, rich Dallas area. It's called Highland Park. It's like a crazy rich area, and a lot of like, I'm guessing like house moms would just come in during lunch and like talk their talk about like their husband either cheating on them or their kids or like traveling or something with money and stuff. But that was just like everyday occasion thing. Like ladies would always come in. There was always like their little group, but actually, my favorite story was making Clark Kershaw a drink. He's a pitcher for the Dodgers.
Oh, did you introduce yourself?
I did not. I just kind of like froze, and I remember he ordered a bourbon on the rocks, and I made it to him, and I just like kind of shaking, like going up to him, like giving it to him and stuff. And another one I saw was Troy Aikman as well. I served him as well, and it was just, like a bunch of really, well-known athletes just coming into the bar and like me, like creating their cocktail for them. I was like, it's kind of cool. It's
Making those spicy margs.
Yeah, making those spicy margs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of cool, just being able to like see them.
Who's your hero?
My hero. Who? That's a good question.
Can't be someone you know.
Yeah.
I'm saying like that far off person that they are real, so it can't be like Superman.
Yeah. Haven't really. Don't know actually.
Let me rephrase the question.
Yeah.
If you could meet anyone, who would it be?
Ooh, if I could meet anyone. It's also a tough one. I love Taylor Swift.
So
so what is this? I'm gonna go with Taylor
If
Swift.
you were, what's this place called again that you were bartending at?
R&D Kitchen.
So B's at R&D Kitchen,
Mm.
and you're bartending at a place where you can see the front door, and Taylor Swift walks through.
Oh man, I would
and sits
pass
down
out.
right in front of you.
I
You would do what? You pass out?
not pass out, but I like when I get like nervous, I say stupid shit. I just always say the dumbest thing.
You haven't said anything stupid today.
I don't know. It's just like, especially when I'm like trying to flirt. I'm so bad at flirting, but like someone like Taylor Swift, if she would just pop up, like I would probably freeze for a little bit and just like try to act somewhat cool, but I know like I'd probably act like a fool. But yeah, yeah.
So I don't follow Taylor Swift at all.
Yeah.
But do you think like someone like her, can she just go to a restaurant? I feel like she can.
She can, but a lot of people are going to be like all up on her probably, and like I don't think she'll like that. She probably has to have some kind of like. She probably goes on to only to like really, like, I don't know, places that you need to be on a list or something like VIPs or some shit. I don't think she just goes in.
She's not going into Whataburger.
Yeah,
but she might be. It doesn't matter how famous you are. Everyone just wants a good cheeseburger sometimes.
Yeah.
And unless you're vegetarian, then everyone just wants a good black bean burger sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she's got to go to these like not everyone wants to have their meal be at a 5-star
True.
Eddie V's
Yeah.
steakhouse.
Yeah. I guess every now and then, yeah, I don't think she'll probably go and eat inside, but she'll probably go to the drive-thru.
Imagine if you're a drive-through worker and they wrote down, can I get the name for your order? Even though you already know.
Yeah.
I wonder if she'd use a fake name.
Right. Maybe.
Just call me T.
TS.
Yeah.
TS.
All right. Anyways, there's something else I wanted to ask you. You were talking about bartending and your hero and who would you meet, crazy stories. I think we covered all that. Yeah?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Okay. Can I read off some dates to you?
Yep.
So you started aviation school,
Yep.
ATP, January 10th. June 5th, 2022, you did your first solo flight.
Yep.
July 8th, 2022, you officially became a U.S. pilot.
Yep.
September 16th, 2022, you got
Instrument.
your CFII,
My instrument
instrument.
rating.
December 10th, 2022, you got your commercial pilot designation.
Yep.
March 10th, 2023, you became a
CFI.
certified flight instructor. And then, and that's all I have.
Yeah. And then May 27th, I want to say, was my May 25th and May 27th was my MEI and CFII.
What a year.
Yeah.
How do you feel thinking as I read that to you? What was sort of going through your
Oh
head?
man, I was just like, just proud. Just accomplished. Like, it was just something that I never thought, honestly, that I'd be able to like do. Like, especially like young Brandon in 2021, like freshman, sophomore year in college, like getting crazy drunk and partying all the time and stuff. Like, I don't know, I'm just very proud of myself for going through it and like pushing myself to go reach my dream goals and stuff. And it's just very, very rewarding as well. So it's cool.
Good
Fist
job.
bump. Thanks, man.
You're
yeah,
welcome.
it's cool.
Worthy of much more than a fist bump, but we
Yeah.
got mics and wires and all kinds of stuff
All the
going on
things.
right now. Dude, I think you're setting a very good example for people that like your dreams can become goals and you can take those goals and turn them into reality.
100%.
And you're proof of that. So congratulations, dude.
Thank you.
And thank you for being a good example to anyone that's watching this that's maybe younger than you are and maybe they sort of know what they want to do, but they're not acting on it because of the loan situation or it just seems like there's too many roadblocks in the way. So
Yeah.
Proud of you, man.
Thanks.
Tell us something. Actually, let me ask this first. All of the planes in your pictures are very small.
Yeah, very small.
These aren't big planes.
Not at all.
What do you call those?
So the one I mostly trained out of was a Piper Archer. It fits like 3 people. So it's like the 2 in the front, and you can probably fit 2 in the back, but it's not ideal. Like usually all the training is just 2 people in the front. That's it. But yeah, they're very, very tiny. The Cessna has a little bit more leg room. It's a little bit more spacious. But same thing, it probably fits like 3 or 4 people, but you only ever, like your training is just with 2 people in the front. That's about it.
When was your first time? Have you flown alone?
Yeah, yeah.
When was that? How? What? Tell me. How was that?
So that June, I think it was June 5th. You read there the
Yep.
first solo. That was the
Oh yeah.
first and only part of your training as you're going through training as a pilot. That you are required to fly a plane by yourself with nobody with you, and it's like it's crazy because it's like I did it within like a month of just like starting my training. So it's like after a month, after a month of just flying planes, like these bitches want you to go fly like by yourself.
Yes, these bitches do.
These bitches want you to go fly by themselves. So it's like it was kind of like mind blowing. It's like that's kind of create like scary, but I did it, and it was actually like one of my favorite flights. Just being able to like be up there by myself, not having to someone tell me what I'm doing wrong, and it's just very relaxing. I put on some Taylor Swift on my headphones, just kind of listening to some Taylor Swift and just flying. It was great.
What songs did you put on?
Oh man, I just had it on shuffle.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all
Man,
the
all
songs.
by yourself, up in the sky, Taylor Swift in the eardrums.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did it feel like? I was going to tell you earlier about skydiving. It's one of the most like peaceful things I've ever done.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
What was that? What like state of mind and body were you in during that flight? Was it like excitement? Was it calming? What was it?
Yeah, very exciting. Like I said, calming as well. It was cool because there's you're constantly talking to air traffic controllers as well, and whenever you talk, you kind of mention that you're a solo pilot student, so that way they have like a better eye on you, just kind of separating bigger traffic away from you, keeping you away from like other planes as much as possible. So yeah, the controller was like, "Oh man, is this your first solo?" I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Oh, I remember back in my day, like I remember my first solo and stuff," and it was just like very cool, just kind of having this quick, short conversation with this other guy who had experienced it once in his life as well, and it's like, man, it was just a moment like I'll never forget.
How high did you go?
I was flying about like 7,000 feet.
Where'd you go?
I went from Arlington to Corsicana to Waco back to Arlington.
Okay.
It was like how long was that flight? Maybe like I don't even remember. Like hour 50, hour 30, 2 hours. Don't remember actually.
And were they like grading you on things like the takeoff and if you stay on
nope,
course?
nobody can see what you're doing. They're not grading you. As long as you get back safely and you touch down at all these 3 airports, you're good.
That's all you have to do.
That's all you have to do. Yep. It doesn't like even if you had a really bumpy landing, as long as you got back up, what you had to do was just fly to these 3 airports. You had to land the plane, taxi back, and then take off again at all these 3 airports. Sorry, and as long as you got back safely, you completed that little requirement needed.
So the whole thing from day one to when you got your commercial pilot designation was about a year, right?
Yeah, so I started school in January, like I said, but I ran into some like issues probably 2 weeks after starting, so I didn't fly for about 4 months after that, after starting. So I really started back up like May.
So it's about an 8-month program.
So
give
yeah,
or take?
it took me. So I started, I would say, from like May to the following May. So it took me about 12 months overall.
Would you say that the mapping was the hardest thing of that your training, or was it something else?
No, something else. There's a lot of other things. I only busted on one thing, and it was a power off 180 landing. So basically, what they do is you're by the airport. You're literally just taking off the runway. You do a lap in the pattern, so it's basically just looks like a rectangle around the pattern. And as soon as you're coming back to land, they cut off your power on the plane, and you have to land the plane without reintroducing any power, and getting to a specific point on the runway and landing within like 200 feet of that runway. And I overshot it by a couple feet, and I busted it on my check ride for that specific maneuver we had to do, that landing. I would say that was probably my hardest thing having to learn, just kind of just seeing like how far you are, how high you are, what you need to do to like get down to that runway before you either overshoot it, or if you don't make it, you're too short, like, you're going to crash. But I mean, you can obviously reintroduce power at that point. But I would say that was probably the hardest thing I had to learn, just landing the plane without adjusting power.
But you didn't. So you didn't actually physically break anything on the plane.
No, I didn't. I landed it perfectly fine. I just overshot it within
you-
the point, the 200 feet you're supposed to land in. Within.
When you said the term busted specifically, I got this mental image of like the front wheel just like
Oh,
completely
no.
shattering.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm glad you're okay.
That's
How
what
is the
that's,
plane though?
yeah, that's just what they say whenever you like fail something. Like you fail a check ride. It's like the check ride is called the check ride is what they call like the exam, each exam you do.
Is in general was there any nerves about landing, or are planes sort of designed in a way where it's sort of like almost hard to mess up?
No, it's I would say it's probably one of the harder things to learn how
It
to
is.
do. Yeah, landing.
How was your very first one? Do you remember?
It's pretty bad. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but it was like it was very like not centered. It was like a little to the side, bumpy as well. But I would say like I picked up on landing sort of quickly maybe, and I think I'm pretty great at it now. So it's I've definitely improved from my first day. So
I hope so. You're an
Yeah.
instructor now.
Yeah.
You're teaching.
No, I know. Yeah. So landings are pretty good, solid actually.
What was the best part of training?
Just flying, honestly.
Yeah.
Anytime I got up to fly, I was like, and like, especially on a nice day, like winter flying is the best. The air's so smooth. It's like great performance on the aircraft. It's just the best time to fly. And also, there's no AC in the plane. So in the summer, it is hell trying to fly. It's so hot and uncomfortable as well. But yeah, anytime to fly. Also, like, I guess the people I met some pretty cool people as well when I was in Arlington. I still keep in touch with those other friends that I made as well. I know eventually in the future I'll be running into them a lot in the airport as well. So that's kind of cool being able to like have made those friends and then seeing each other just kind of progress through our aviation career as well. It's kind of bittersweet. It's kind of nice.
What was the biggest
Sweet.
surprise of training?
Me actually being able to get through everything. Honestly, I was surprised myself every single time I passed something. I was like, wow, I did that. Like, I don't know. I was like, I just didn't believe in myself. I always had this like doubt in
Like
myself.
imposter syndrome or something?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that I am here.
Yeah,
right now.
exactly. It's like, you know what? If I fail, it's fine, whatever. But I mean, I did pretty well throughout the program. Yeah.
So we mentioned earlier the big four, an airplane, in flight. I don't even know. What do you call your industry in flying?
Aviation.
In aviation, is there like a company that you really want to work for, that you'd love to work for one day?
I think everybody has their own like personal depending on what they do. Like a lot of people, it depends if they have a family, what cities they want to live in. Like all that stuff comes into play. For me, I think my end goal would be either to fly for United or American Airlines. Those are American is the largest airline in the world. That'd be kind of cool to like, you know,
They are?
yeah,
I didn't
to
know
work for
that.
them. Yep, largest airline in the world, and then United has the most international flights out of any of the U.S. carriers as well. So that's pretty sweet. You know, be able to like hop onto like a flight, fly for free anywhere you want around the world. I think that's pretty cool. But other than that, those are also the only two other airlines, the only U.S. airlines that also fly to my hometown as well. So being able to have access to, you know, go visit my family whenever I want would be nice as well. So
Oh yeah.
that I would say those would be my two preferences right now.
So what's next?
So right now, actually yesterday I hit my 500 hours of total time. That's a third of the way of being done with my flight training. So I'm 1,000 hours short from reaching the airlines, and I actually signed on with Frontier Airlines back in July.
Okay.
They offered this cadet program thing. And the way they got me was they offered me a sign-on bonus, basically.
Nice.
So a lot of airlines are now offering all these like incentives and stuff, and for me, that was what I needed the most, just like additional money, just because I don't come from a lot of money, so it's kind of hard to, you know, have that backup support from my family and stuff, even though they do help me out. But yeah, Frontier for me was like my best option. So as soon as I'm done with my 1,500 hours, I will be flowing directly to Frontier.
Nice.
Yeah, very excited.
Will you be able to stay in Austin, or do you still have an itch to move again?
I will. I mean, I could stay in Austin, but they don't have a hub out of Austin, so I would have to commute out of Austin, which would probably be a little tough. So I more than likely will be moving, I want to say. If it was like Dallas, so I think I probably could stay in Austin if I was based out of Dallas. Sorry.
Right.
I
Where's the closest hub to here?
Dallas. They
It is
just opened
Dallas,
up
okay.
Dallas last summer, I want to say, but they're opening up. They're expanding pretty quickly. I just saw this newsletter that they're opening up a base in Puerto Rico, two in Chicago. Um, where else? I think it was like Philly, or they already have Philly, I think. But they're opening up a lot of bases in a bunch of areas now, a bunch of cities.
You excited?
Oh yeah, I'm very excited.
What do you go ahead.
I would say I'm mostly excited just to like make money. It's just like I've been poor my entire
Dude.
life.
There is something to be said for. I remember when we graduated college, both me and my buddy were working jobs that paid like a little above minimum wage.
Yeah.
And then we got our offer letters, and it was for like 52,000, which isn't even an insane amount. But he was just like, "Dude, we just got thrust into the middle class.
Yeah.
Like, this is wild."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, we did. it's a long, hard work and a lot
Yeah.
of long nights."
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think? What does money mean to you, and the fact that you're gonna have some in the near future,
Yeah.
and for probably for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I mean, I think money has always been my like biggest, I guess not even mine, my family is just like biggest struggle. Just like we didn't grow up with much. I'd say we'd probably labor ourselves in like higher, lower class maybe. Just kind of yeah, it's always been tough, you know. It's even right now it's probably the toughest I've struggled with money, just because I don't make much as an instructor either. I make like maybe 30,000-40,000 a year. But to me, I mean, that would just alleviate a lot of stress and stuff. Like that's always been my biggest stressor, just like not being financially stable, basically.
Right.
So to me, it's like everything, honestly.
Yeah, because it really does change things when you can take control of your credit card debt, take control of your loans.
Yeah.
You could, Daniel could invite you out to a nice steak dinner, and you don't have to check the bank account first. Like I feel like when you get that stress off your shoulders,
Yeah.
you can sort of look through life at a different lens and start focusing on what matters to you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and thankfully, like I've had some amazing friends that I've met that have helped me a ton throughout my aviation journey. Like, they've just helped me a lot. Like I said, mentioned my roommate as well, Jackie. She's been a big help for me, and another friend of mine, Mark, up in Dallas. When I was living in Dallas, like I was running short on money, and basically didn't charge me rent for the last few months I was there. It was like half the year maybe.
That's a solid friend right there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
for what's up.
Some really good friends.
Shout out Mark.
Shout out Mark. Shout out Jackie. Shout out Daniel.
Yeah.
Shout out all my good friends, man. It's very thankful for them. Without their help, and I mean, shout out to my parents as well. So, without their help, like I definitely would not be where I'm at right now. So,
Yeah.
I'd probably be working somewhere else, and then probably later on hopping back into this career. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, it's a tough industry to get through, especially like by yourself. So, like a lot of the people I went to school with, like a lot of them were married and stuff, so they have like their husband or their wife that they're supporting them and stuff financially. So I didn't really have that person. I just had basically my friends, which I mean helped out a lot. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So like I said, very grateful for them.
When once you get your 1,500 hours, will you be able to fly like a commercial plane filled with passengers?
So so the 1,500 hours will basically allow me to just qualify to apply for my airline transport pilot license. So I would still have to do some like training with Frontier, and it's like a month or two or a few weeks long. I'll do a bunch of training with them, and I would have to take another exam, another two exams, like a written exam and a simulator exam in the plane that I'll be flying, and then once I pass that, I'll be able to start flying.
Do you think have you flown something that big before?
No, the biggest I've flown is that
That
picture.
little one that
that
we
little.
saw on your Instagram?
Yep. Yeah, and that's what most of the time. Like if you're just an instructor, that's all you fly up until you get to the airlines. And what's cool about Frontier is they fly only Airbuses, so They are what so they basically fly Airbus, like I mentioned, and it's like the big planes. Like they fit over 150 people, probably maybe 200 people. So another reason I signed on with Frontier was I basically get to skip the regionals and go directly to a major airline. When the before Frontier existed, you would go to a regional airline, be there for a few years as a first officer, then move up to captain, and then from there you'd go to a major airline like American,
Okay.
Delta, United. A regional airline would be like Envoy Airlines, Piedmont, SkyWest, all these smaller planes that fly into like the suburbs and stuff, essentially. So that's another thing. I won't be flying into like small towns. I'll be having layovers in like big cities only because Frontier only flies to like big towns. So that was another reason I guess I went with Frontier.
I'm surprised that your ultimate goal wasn't Spirit.
No, nope.
Do you know many other pilots?
Yeah, actually, I a lot of my flight instructors signed on with Spirit. A lot of so they offer this program for just specifically our school that if you're a lead instructor, you are allowed to apply. You're only the lead instructors allowed to apply into their program. And apparently, Spirit offers a pretty good, some pretty good benefits when you start off. I hear the worst thing about Spirit is just saying you work for Spirit. Apparently, it's the worst thing. Apparently, they treat their pilots really well. So
Okay,
I don't know.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask, have you ever heard of the Big Four accountant on Instagram?
I have not.
So it's literally a page just making fun of the Big Four.
Uh-huh.
So I was gonna ask if Spirit is sort of like that in the airline industry.
Oh yeah, I see a bunch of I'm sure there's an account out there for specifically hating on Spirit, but there's definitely something out there. I've seen a few.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Shoot, that also made me lose my train of thought. Oh, so it's one thing to fly a little plane with you and like your instructor and maybe one other person. Do you think you'd have some nerves about flying a plane with like a few hundred people in it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Flight?
Uh,
Denzel Washington?
yes. Yeah, I have.
What'd you think about that movie?
That was wild. First of all, also I would have kept my mouth shut at the very end, and he was just confessed, oh man, he could have got away with so much, but
That movie was so stressful for so many. The part where he relapse, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
I was like, I don't do it. Don't
yeah.
do it.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm so mad at you.
There was a lot of moments where I was holding my breath. I was I would forget to just catch my breath. I was and it was just oh man, what if that's not? I mean, not that. What if that's me? But it's
Please don't let that be.
yeah,
you.
that's not gonna be me. But yeah, it was just crazy. I was damn, this actually happened, I guess. But I don't know. It's just wild thinking I'm gonna be in charge of over 100 people
You
at
are.
one point. A lot of over 100 people's lives are gonna be in my hands. So it's kind of crazy to think, but it's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I've never been responsible for anyone's life except for little Faddington over there.
Yeah.
He takes care of himself for the most
Yeah.
part. I just gotta walk him outdoors every day.
Yeah.
Well, I had one more question around aviation for you. Spirit, are you scared about flying with people? Who do you want to work for? I think maybe we covered most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like it. Yeah.
Dude, I had a pilot on the show.
Yeah.
This
My
is
first
so
pilot.
freaking cool.
My first pilot.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Hell
Yeah, I'm 99.9999. I've had a few guys in the military on,
Yeah.
and I know that they've jumped out of a lot of planes
Yeah.
and
Oh.
helicopters. I don't think any of them were pilots, though.
Okay.
They were all on the ground killing bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I feel honored to be your first pilot. On
I
the
was
podcast.
honored to have you here. We're not quite done yet. I have a few wrap-up questions for you, but
Yeah.
before we get into those, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about that we haven't brought up yet?
No, I think we've hit all the points we've kind of talked about at the beginning. Yeah.
You seem less nervous now.
I think it's a tequila. It's
I
definitely
think-
the tequila.
I think you just got into storytelling mode.
Yeah, I got to
You told some good stories.
Yeah. No,
You were laughing. You were smiling.
yeah.
Talk about flight school. Talk about your mom.
I get excited when I talk about aviation. Yeah, a lot of people ask me things. And I'm oh yeah, ask me anything. Go ahead. I'm here to answer whatever because it's a great career to get into. But yeah, I think after you started talking about my aviation stories and stuff, I just kind of like dove in and just got locked in, and it was like, all right, yes.
I thought I had you locked in around high school. I didn't know it.
Yeah.
I guess I read the room wrong.
Yeah, I guess I like to talk about my life.
No, I think a lot of people do, man. I've got some really good feedback that people just. I don't know how do you feel right now that we're sort of almost done.
Yeah, no, I feel like I could keep talking. I'm just like I can keep going probably. Yeah.
Well, you can come back.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you back on.
Yeah, episode 2. Stay tuned.
For those who are listening, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I really appreciate all of you. As you know, at this time, only about 80% of y'all have subscribed to the YouTube channel, given us 5 stars on Spotify, and given us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And the more reviews we get, the more awesome guests like B that we can bring into the show, and the bigger and bigger I will commit to making the show for you guys if you do the simple thing for me. That takes about 2 minutes of your time. So go do that while I ask B is to ask a couple of questions. I started a new tradition on the show of taking questions that I'd like from other podcasts,
Okay,
and asking them of my guests.
Rapid fire.
To see how you respond.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna ask you. Oh. There's a couple good ones on here.
Is that a good-o?
You're gonna get it's a good-o, because it's a 2-part question.
Okay.
You get a 60-second phone call with the previous version of yourself.
Okay.
How old are you, and what would you say if you could call that previous version of yourself?
Oh man, I'd probably go back to like early college and just kind of maybe high school. Oh man, those are just 2 different, I guess. Within a year,
Two very different versions.
Two very different versions within like a few months, actually.
Yeah.
Who do I prefer?
Well, if you call the younger one, that I don't know. I guess one way you could phrase this. Is there any? Yeah, I'm not going to try to influence your thoughts. I'll just let you answer.
Yeah, I guess just kind of like go back to my younger self. Just kind of tell myself like keep being who you are. Just like don't change for anybody. Things are eventually going to get better. And you're going to fail at a lot of things in life and stuff. And just going to continue. That's just going to, help you eventually grow, get to where you need to be. So just kind of let those failures happen and keep continuing to succeed in whatever you do. I don't know. That's kind of all I guess I have to say, but no.
Now you get all right, sorry. Now you get to call. The second part of the question is you get to call anyone you want, even if you don't have their number.
Okay.
You can get it. Who would you call, and what would you say to them?
I'd probably call my grandpa. Just kind of try to hear his last. Like, I didn't really get to have a conversation before he passed, and just kind of see, just have whatever conversation with him. Like, just talk about anything. Honestly, I would love to hear his voice again and just kind of, show him how far I've come also in life, and would like to also thank him for taking me to those air shows, because I'm sure that kind of sparked an interest in my aviation journey. So yeah, I'd like to just have one last call with him if that was possible. So
I know you said you would like to hear his voice, but do you think he would probably have you do most of the talking?
Probably.
Like, he would probably just want to hear about everything. I mean, you weren't out of the closet yet. You hadn't gone to school yet. We didn't know that you were interested in aviation. Like, I bet he would just be peppering you with questions.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure he'd be really proud as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you have dozens, if not hundreds. I don't know what your social circle is like of people who are proud of you as well. Yeah. Are you proud of you?
I'm very proud of myself, yes.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. Fuck yeah. I'm glad there's no hesitation on that one. That's good. You're at a good spot, man. Thanks. Happy for you. What else?
Oh, let's see what else. I Oh, I want to give a shout out to my teams, the Block Destroyers. I joined a football league when I first moved here in Austin, and made some really good friends through this football league as well. We have our first football game on Saturday, and this is my second league playing in this league, second season playing in this league, and yeah, it's been a fun little league I joined and stuff. Like a lot of my best friends are in this league. Like I met a lot of my close friends when I moved to Austin through this league and stuff. So it's been really cool just being a part of this, being a part of that league. It's fun. It's really cool.
That's awesome. How'd you find it?
I found it because how did I find it? Yeah, when I had a friend on Instagram who told me about it, and I was like, oh yeah, like I love sports, like football. It's flag football. I was like, you know what? I haven't played football since middle school. So I was like, yeah, like I'll give it a go. I'll try it out and stuff. And the first season I played last in the fall, we went undefeated up until playoffs. We lost in playoffs, but it was so fun. I met a lot of good people. We have like socials outside of like the games and stuff. Like we meet up at bars or like someone's house. We'll have like a game night. And we'll have like practice once a week, and it's a really well organized league. So if you haven't heard of it and live in Austin, it's ATXGFL is the Instagram @ thing. Look it up, and if you like sports or want to meet some cool people, it's a really cool league and organization that that's here in Austin for any queer, gay people, for anybody, honestly, allies as well. So
one of my friends just joined. He just joined a LGBTQ softball league.
Oh, nice.
I think it's softball. It might be basketball.
Yeah, there's a lot of gay leagues, actually. I had no idea how many gay leagues. Like, I didn't realize how, I guess...
prominent?
Yeah, it is, because in Dallas, when I was living in Dallas, I didn't really hear about these leagues, and I moved here to Austin, and there's like a gay league for football, softball, basketball, dodgeball, kickball.
Podcasting?
No, just like
yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
That'd be cool if there. I don't know how many. I know there's at least one other one because he's been on the show.
Yeah.
Shout out Maticus. Mm-hmm. Go check out Say It Slay It live on Spotify. I don't think he's on YouTube.
Yeah.
But that I have been meaning to do some homework to find out if there's any kind of podcasting networking group in Austin, because I'd love to connect with my people.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. I feel like
there has to be.
There has to be. Yeah. If I find out, I'll do some homework as well. If I find anybody out, I'm sure like someone within our friend group does some sort of podcasting. I'm sure. Yeah. And I'll like send them over or something, or like refer them to you, or I don't know.
I love having other podcasters on the show. So if you have a friend that does podcasts and they wanted to come on,
yeah, definitely,
I'd chat with them.
Yeah.
I would actually have that introductory phone call that you and me did not do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoops.
Is that the first time that's happened?
Since I started doing them, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't do it with the first 10 episodes or so, but I do it with everyone now.
Okay. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It just helps build rapport and suss people. I think it makes them less nervous to show up.
Yeah.
When we've already heard each other's voices and done some Q&A. But what are you dating or single right now?
I am single.
Are you open to dating?
I would like to think so, but I just don't think I'm in a good place to give another person my all, my full, like everything I could.
Just are you ever gonna be though?
I think so. Eventually, I think I just need some like time to
focus
aviation. On
this
this last part of like my career for this last part of like my training to get to my career. I feel like once I'm like maybe a year or even a few months into my actual career, I feel like I'll be fully like into like date again.
I was going to say drop your Instagram handle so they can slide into those DMs.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me.
We can skip that if you don't want. I'll probably put it in the show notes.
Click right here.
Right. It's going to be there now.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, Brandon, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been super fun. I had a great time. I love learning about you and being able to be in your life a little bit for these last 2 hours. It went by really quick.
It did, yeah. Thanks for having me too.
Yeah,
I've really enjoyed my first podcast. It was very entertaining. To start off a little shaky, but I've
Your
enjoyed
legs
it.
aren't tweaking anymore.
I know. I was
They were
like all over the place.
Waking up the neighbors when we first started. You're swiveling all over in your chair.
Yeah.
Your fingers were on the prize. Like,
Oh,
we need to
man.
get this man calmed down.
Yep, that's how I am. I'm constantly moving. Like I move. I do a lot of hand gestures.
You
too.
do a lot of this. You probably have adjusted your shirt
Oh,
30
yeah,
plus
yeah,
times.
yep.
Maybe I'll do a little counter at the bottom of the screen for every time
One,
you do
two.
that specific.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, dude. All right, man. Let's get you out of here. To everyone that tuned in, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the show, and we'll see you next Saturday. Bye, guys.